some stuff. Sorry. I'm used to... My headset has a microphone on it, so when I put it on, I can just talk. I was like, why can't I hear myself? Because it was down here. Yeah, let me pull this stuff up.
I don't think that did it.
When the world feels heavy, like it's all gone wrong, Cam brings the laughter, keeps us rolling along. David's in the corner, sipping soda with a grin. Dustin's got the stories, let the chaos begin. Take a breath, we're here to unwind. Even when it's crazy, it's a good time. Calm down, it's fine, take it step by step. We're sitting on the couch, laughing with the missteps. Cam, David, and Dustin, guiding our ride. Embrace the absurd, let the good vibes collide.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Calm Down.
Oh, we were recording. I didn't know we were
Podcast.
What do you think I was clapping for?
because it's fun.
Well, that's true.
Calm down, it's fine. Take it step by step.
That was so funny.
What? How about you try not to sound like a
Oh,
I'm
dog
all
in
tangled up
sheets?
here.
Olin Kaus texted me yesterday.
Tell him to get out of here.
Old-
Said
old married
said
guy.
that he was catching up on the podcast.
Oh,
He said
I was
He
gonna
said-
say something rude, but
he said
I'm just joking.
he said I've never been called an unkept dog before. And I said, I don't remember those words, but it sounds like something Cameron would say.
Unkept dogs.
I don't remember saying it either.
And then he texted me, I want to say maybe, I don't know, a half hour or so later after that. He went, dude, that outro is fire. I was like, I know.
I called him an unkept dog.
I guess.
Why? Because he got married. Why did I talk about him?
I'm not sure. We did talk. I did talk about him saying that he's been listening to the podcast while he's at work and stuff. But he was like, I've never been called an unkept dog before, and I was like, that sounds like a Cameron insult if I've ever heard one.
That one right there, the dog that I shaped. I had a good insult the other day. Someone was telling me Ben Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was telling me on Polo, and it's a group where I have on Marco Polo, he's in it or whatever, and he was saying something about to a couple guys in there aren't married, and he was giving them advice. He's like, best advice I can give you is get cologne, because women like the smell of cologne more than men like the smell of women's perfume. He's like, it's just, so before I go in from work to my house, I will spray my cologne, because my wife, she likes smelling it, and they are very attracted to it, and it's just, just smell good. It's just something you can do. It's easy, it's simple, and they love it.
What is going on in this Marco Polo group chat?
So I said, he was talking to like just a kid who's getting married in like 2 weeks.
Okay, that was his word of advice to.
So I come on, I was like, Ben, first of all, I am pretty sure the whole industry is geared towards women's perfume because men love
Like
the
the
smell
smell of it.
women wearing perfume. And he's like, well, no, it's definitely the other way around. I'm like, no, it's definitely not the other way around.
No.
My wife, I have cologne, whatever, but I love the way my wife smells. Like when she puts her perfume on, like it's
right.
Yeah.
kind of like
It's always geared to the
it's
opposite.
kind of a thing. Like we smell them, and it's just that's nice. She
It smells pretty. We like it.
Right. And I said, and then he's like, well, I've had a couple. I'm like, what is this experience you have? Where's the studies? He's like, well, I've had like 3 women tell me I smell good, and I was like, I've never had a woman tell me I smell good. I've had a lot of women tell me I'm handsome and charming. So maybe that's the problem with you. They can't see
They're
your
like-
handsome
they're like,
and
they're like,
charming,
well-
but you don't smell like sewage.
Right.
He's like,
He's the modern day Leah. He's tender eyed.
When was this?
today.
Was this on was this on Marco Polo?
I will say that.
I can't say.
I can't say that I
funny.
agree with his premise.
I didn't realize. Sorry.
But when we were in Ephesus, last year.
Just a little flex.
Yeah, just a little.
That's a
hashtag humble brag.
When I was in Ephesus,
When we were in Ephesus,
apostolizing their halls.
Yeah, and like every time he said that, I'm like, what, you got Jordan Peterson
Yeah,
over
when I was
here,
in-
or like what is?
Yeah,
When
so-
I was in Ephesus,
that was actually.
ministering to the Ephesians.
Were you going to Thessalonica next?
No, we tried to go to Corinth, but it didn't work out. But no, we were in Ephesus, and we were at like one of the shops there. It was like where Turkey's like, this is what we're the best at making. They had a cologne there, and I popped it open. I was like, oh, this does smell pretty good. And then I was like, hey, what do you think? I asked Nikki. Obviously, I asked Nikki because I'm like, if I'm gonna smell like this, you
Right.
better like it.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, hey, what do you think about this? And she took one smell and she was like, yeah, get it right now. And I was like, all right,
Yeah, that's great.
say less. So I do have, I know I have at least one.
Yeah, I'm not saying women don't like a good cologne.
Oh, yeah. I
But
was
it's
saying.
probably it's 100% 60-40. Women, like, it's geared towards, even in the woods, man. The deer, the bucks are going around smelling the does.
Yeah, no, that's
I
actually.
mean, that's what happens. It's just,
Are you still like active on Marco Polo like that?
yeah.
I get a Marco Polo, and every time I get one, I go, oh, I forgot I had this.
yeah. No, I use it quite often. Like Jesse, I talk to Jesse. That's the only way I talk to Michael Shane too.
Yeah, I mean, so typically, if I'm talking to Michael Shane or Eric or something like that, we text.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if there's something that he wants to show, like if Michael Shane wants to show us something, like a video, rather than take a video and send us the video, he'll Marco Polo it.
Yeah.
Or
It's
if it's a long thought, like he's like, oh, here's this thing I was like, he'll message me sometimes about like something he's studying, and he'll be like, hey, this is what I'm studying right now. Or he'll be like, hey, how's the church doing? Whatever it is. If it's like a long message, he'll Marco Polo it, because then it's easier to listen to a minute long message than read a page and a half. So,
yeah, that's unfortunate. That's the only way I communicate with Michael, because every time I will go to text him, like I don't text him, but every time I go to communicate with him, I have to see his ugly face.
wow. Clip
I
that.
I just find myself not reaching out.
Specifically because he's too ugly to talk to.
2 people I've called ugly today.
Cameron's just letting it fly.
This is the insult of the week.
Today's the day. This is the episode where you guys find out how Cameron really feels about you. And it's early, bro. We're only a couple minutes into this episode.
As I pulled into Dunkin', I dropped my wife at Food Line to get some stuff for the youth group, and I see Seth Hayes fly by, pulls into Dairy Queen, and I watch him pull around the drive-thru. Excuse me. And then he just flies out of there, flies into Arby's drive-thru, flies out of there, flies back down the road. I'm like, what is he doing? Like, what in the world? And then he pulls up to visit the group canvassing. And I told him, I texted him, like, pull into the police station. He sees you. He sees me. And he guns it past the police station where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
So we can hear his truck. I'm like, this child.
It's a Tundra.
What are you doing?
To be
Look,
a kid
so
again.
Yeah, I know. He passed the church van trying to do the same thing. You're like, and then
And you got a ticket 2 weeks ago.
Then everyone in the van was like, what did you do that for? And I said, I don't know. Let's all talk about how cool that was. So I made everyone scream like, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Seth, he texted me the other day. He said, but this will be funny, and it's obviously true, but it's part of the new era that we're in. Let me find it. Timothy Davis. That's his name in my phone for some reason.
All right.
Timothy David? What is that even?
The first time he texted me with this number, he said it's Timothy.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, what do you? And he said Timothy Davis. So I just saved it as that.
To be a kid again.
Yeah. He goes. he goes,
I just
sounds
don't
like you're
understand.
losing listeners. And he gives me a screenshot of him in a text conversation with Michael Shelton. And he goes, he's peddling this thing again with that podcaster that he worships, Michael Shelton. That got, remember that system of revenue or whatever?
Oh, with was it Adam Carolla?
Yeah, probably like the pay for what it's worth or whatever.
Right, yeah.
But he's preaching the gospel of that, because he sent that to us 100 times 3 years ago, and he's just in a random conversation with Seth, and he usually says, I love you, Michael, but this is funny. It's way easier for people to pay for what they think a product is worth instead of setting up a reoccurring payment like Max or Disney. Value for value. But Cam's product is unreliable. I wouldn't subscribe again since they've stopped trying.
Wait. Who said that?
Michael Shelton, our number one fan.
Yeah, there's gonna be freeloaders either way. And then he goes and pushes this podcast. I only know so much because I listen to No Agenda. It's a political podcast, but one of the guys on there, Adam Curry, actually invented podcasting. I don't think he invented podcasting, but whatever. And he got saved a couple years ago, so that's cool too. But anyways,
I say we go to Michael's house and we beat him.
no,
And then leave.
I mean, I appreciate the.
Fine, David.
I
say we go to his house.
Supported us for a while.
Yeah.
He's not with us anymore. Let's go to his house.
No, I mean he
and
gave us
beat him.
money. I'm not gonna.
It's just so far
But
away.
because I mean we're averaging.
But what are these for? Fine. Let's just stalk him.
He said, I said, yeah, we haven't been as consistent this last year. And then Seth says, I'm not knocking you. I haven't really listened since Harrison left. Sounds like a knock.
Yeah, listen, I'm not coming down on you guys, but I stopped listening a while ago.
I said, thanks for the encouragement. I said, oh, I know. I'm just saying, I know it's not our heyday anymore. I'm just maintaining till I can get more consistent. Thanks for the encouragement. I said, I'm sure you defended me against Michael, no doubt. He said, I didn't respond. I'm like, okay. Whatever. Anyways, that was funny.
Yeah.
So,
Dude,
he said, I would never subscribe again. We broke his heart or something.
I guess
Michael,
so.
come on, man. Just know, Michael, if you text Seth, it's going to get back to me. And Seth, if you text Michael, it's maybe not. Anyways.
Speaking of the podcast and people who are talking about us or to us, I've noticed on our YouTube channel.
Oh, you're talking about this?
There's a individual of who I do not know. I do not know who this young lady is. Maybe she's not a young lady. Maybe she's an old lady.
If she's a young lady, she needs some manners.
Yeah, I do not know who she is.
Who she is.
I will say that for like the past month and a half, every video we put out,
I didn't see this thumbnail. That's so perfect.
I can.
What is it?
Oh, why isn't it on my Rocket Money? The thumbnail for
about,
last episode.
The
DoorDash and stuff.
Yes, but what's the word I'm looking? Financing.
Yeah.
Financing DoorDash. The thumbnail for this is beautiful.
But
sorry.
Every episode we've put out, we get. Here's the thing. Maybe we shouldn't address it, just so we know that there's gonna be foot track. There's gonna be traction on our videos.
Is that how bad it is?
Yeah. Maybe we just keep ignoring so we know we'll have at least.
Have you said what? I mean, have you said what she says on there?
No, not yet. So
everybody go look at the YouTube.
Every single
And,
You said
video.
within the last month.
Yeah, it's like
right?
the last month and a half. If you look at the
Do you
comments.
want me to read the comment?
I think Cameron's got it pulled up now.
Okay. Oh, no, I don't, but I can get it right here.
I've got it right here.
All right, so go ahead. Read this comment, Dustin.
Do you want me to read the name for the person who said it too?
It's just like a handle, so I don't know.
I mean, this was by Lena Lauren 6784. Topic for the podcast: have you ever been given a wedgie? What's the story?
Here's the story. Didn't feel good. That's it. I mean, who has a story?
So here's the other thing.
I
Right?
could tell a story.
This girl
I'm
has
sure
commented
you
on
could.
all of our videos asking, Have you ever had a wedgie? What's the story?
For a month and a half.
For a month and a half.
This account isn't like a new account. It's from 2016
I wouldn't say
with
that's
34
new.
subscribers.
Yeah.
They have 34 subscribers.
That's what it says.
Are all of her subscribers just wedgie stories?
Like, I've never heard of it.
So I thought about
But
it.
look, it's almost 10 years old.
Yeah, I've thought about it, and I don't think I have like a wedgie story.
No,
I have
'cause
one.
You've never
It's-
been dominated by a
it's-
man.
Not
I can't say that I have.
That's a dominating. Like, if you're the beta.
Beta.
Yeah, that's it. If you're the beta, you get wedged.
Beta.
I like beta
saying
better.
beta.
That was
saying
pretty
beta is the
amazing.
beta way of saying beta.
I think
You deserve a wedgie.
I think since I didn't even know how to say the opposite of alpha is pretty good. Like that's I don't even know what beta. How you even say that thing.
Brother Mike in Sunday school Sunday almost said soy boys, and
Soy boy.
I lost it. He was talking about like man buns, and he was like, there's no such thing as a man bun, you soy. And I went, say it.
Is that
And
not
then,
appropriate to say?
huh? No, I don't think he likes using slang, like modern day like slang and terms and stuff like that, especially while he's preaching.
Great conviction.
So he was like, well, I just don't think he likes doing it while he's preaching. So he was like, there's no such thing as a man bun. He's like, you're just a bunch of soy. You're just not. It's not manly. And I was like, oh, you almost said it. Dude, I would have laughed so hard if you said it.
What were you saying?
No, I can't. I don't think I can say it.
All right. You know what? I'm proud of you.
I mean, okay. I did take my brother one time and stick him up on a coat hanger.
I have.
So, okay,
you've told that story on.
I want to tell.
You told that story.
I want to tell my wedgie story. This wasn't me. I was in youth group, and it was one of my friends in youth group. His name was Lewis, and he was getting a drink at the water fountain, and I was like,
It's now or never.
He's open, dude. I got him so good.
Thanks, open.
I ripped his underwear off of him.
Oh, wow.
Like I held him up, like by his underwear, and then
How old were you?
14 or 15.
You don't think that's
Imagine
like
if
a-
you were in
you don't think that's
the
a
youth
little
group right
extra?
now, and I was there, and you did that and standing by the water fountain. Can you imagine the tongue just lashing you would get as you stand there with another man's boxer briefs in your hand? Like, and I walk around the car, I was like,
Hey, here's like, listen.
I would
his
lose it.
His dad approved, so we were good.
Huh?
I don't
His
think
dad
we
thought
are.
it was funny.
Here's
It tells you it's pointing at me saying my dad approved
No,
of
here's-
that story. I'm like,
no,
it's funny.
Here's
now
the
I'm
thing.
saying, like,
Here's the thing about
if
wedgies.
Josiah ripped off Tyler's underwear.
One, I don't think that I've like maybe when I was in school somebody tried, but I can't remember or recall ever actually getting a wedgie.
No, it wasn't. I don't.
Not
know
like an
if that-
inflicted wedgie.
Inflicted.
Not inflicted.
Not afflicted by
yeah.
inflicted.
Yeah.
we
now,
need to tag
I-
Lena, Lauren, whatever.
now
let her know
also
we
on
giving
the
her what she wants.
other on the other side of that coin,
Let me see.
I've never given a wedgie.
You've never dealt it.
I've never dealt. I think it's weird to try to reach in and grab someone else's
No, I've never.
underoos.
Except my brother.
I
don't know why.
I don't know why.
But we need the traction.
We
here.
give the people what they want.
Believe me, there's not enough people listening or watching right now for anyone to get offended. So,
Certainly not Michael Shelton.
yeah.
I didn't.
If we've hit,
I have a confession. I didn't know I wasn't subscribed.
Hey, new subscriber.
I thought I was. Sorry,
that's what we've been missing.
So
I'm subscribed now.
so yeah, there it is.
Are
Now,
you happy now?
Lena
Please?
or Lena, however you say your name.
I guess Lena. I mean, that's how it's like.
She's gonna
spelled.
keep commenting. She probably hasn't
Keep
even
commenting.
listened.
Give us more topics. Comment on the YouTube if you want us to talk about
Yeah,
something.
we don't push anything enough.
Yeah, talk, bro. Listen.
We have a couple emails.
Go to the YouTube channel right now.
Dustin's-
If you're listening on
Dustin
Spotify, you
Sadoff
don't even have to
subscribed.
pause. You don't even have to pause the Spotify to do this. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, leave a comment on what it is you want us to talk about.
Yeah, leave us suggestions. We'll talk about it.
Faux show.
Let's see. Let's look
what's
at
the
this
email
one.
here. Anthony Cheesem. All right. Boy, have I got a DoorDash story for you.
Because we talked about DoorDash last
In
week.
or around October, November of 2020, a Marine from my unit that deployed with us to Iraq and Afghanistan went nuts. He tagged me and another
As
Marine.
you do.
Yep. He tagged me and another Marine that's also a Baptist in a couple blasphemous Facebook posts. Several fellow Marines and I had noticed during the COVID era that he had been getting darker and darker in skin color. I'm just joking. No, darker and darker in his social
I've
media
been getting
content.
melanin infusions.
Yeah, then he went full demonic, like he may have been devil possessed. About a week after the last post, he tried to attack me in my faith. And I see his face on the news. Okay. About a week after the last post, he had tried to attack me in my faith. I see his face on the news. In the middle of the day in Mesa, Arizona, he pulled a loaded handgun on a DoorDash driver that was delivering to someone in his apartment building. And then here's
You've never done that?
What?
Oh, you have like
Yeah.
he
There's a
sent
video?
like a video.
Yeah, it's.
I imagine
YouTube.
it was in the news.
YouTube. I love ads.
T-Mobile.
I thought this was a video. I was like, they're getting the guy. They're getting the guy. They're getting the guy.
All right.
This is the guy.
Yeah, while driving to deliver food.
We're doing DoorDash. We have food.
This guy. I guess that's the guy.
It's 3:55.
In the afternoon.
And that's him.
So were they delivering DoorDash to his house or
No, I don't think so. He was just being a vigilante.
neighborhood watch, bro?
I feel
He's got
safer
the
knowing
gun.
he's there.
He looks just like the type guy that
Would
he-
go crazy?
Yeah, that.
Oh, this is like a long video.
He's just brandishing his weapon the whole time. Like, what's he?
Mariah Carey and her producer.
And then Mariah
Huh.
Carey made it
Yeah.
away.
If not,
Anyways, that's crazy.
Well,
DoorDash is dangerous. Honey, don't use it anymore.
yeah.
No more DoorDash.
No.
Thank you, TJ, for the content. That's great.
That's now I wonder. Now here's what I wonder, and I know
When
TJ's
will-
going to listen to this,
When
so
will
he can
TJ
answer.
turn into that?
No, that's not. That wasn't my question. I know he'll listen. So, because this reminds me of another thing, and Cameron, I'm not going to get into it, but Cameron will know what I'm talking about. TJ, I want to know: did you find out that this guy you were overseas with got arrested and then find the YouTube video, or did you see on YouTube or on the news that somebody had gotten arrested for pulling a gun on a DoorDash driver and then realized that it was your friend? Because, and like I said, I'm not going to get into it. That's happening.
You mean like he heard he heard the story and was like, I know exactly who it is.
Yeah, that's
Michael
what I'm
Shelton had
saying.
sent an email December 17th. Remember his header was best episode in a while. So he'd been falling off a cliff. He's like a disgruntled church member that you know it's coming.
Who is?
Dang.
You know what I mean? You're
Michael Sheldon?
you're like, oh, there's just signs, and then they say something like that, and then there's like, oh, it's not how it used to be, and then they're gone. You're like, yeah,
You're talking about Michael Sheldon?
yeah.
Which one is this?
Huh?
Which one? Which video was that?
111.
I love how you doubled down on it.
I had to stand my ground. Let's get Angular.
Yeah. So I got something from Gabriel Shelton, his brother. Did he say? Did we read these before? Hey guys, I loved your Hangry Giants episode. I would love to hear more of your favorite conspiracy theories, especially regarding Sasquatch and Sasquatch adjacent topics.
I don't think we did read that.
This podcast is the only one I can recommend wholeheartedly to friends, coworkers, and random schmucks on the street, so please keep it up. Well, if you recommend episode 120, they're going to hear about wedgies, so...
Which is what the people want.
Thanks, Gabriel. And another one. Hello again, comrades. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I really like the old theme song. It just sounds better. If you guys do decide to make the new theme song, I think it would be better if it were where you guys are doing the singing and not a lifeless, soulless, and uncanny... How about uncanny? Uncanny feeling AI, but that's just my unbiased opinion, which is completely utterly
insert that
biased.
soundbite.
A solid Sedophrodite.
So,
Yeah, but if I sang it, it would not be good or funny. It would just be bad.
well, here's the thing. One, I don't think that anybody would know that was AI unless we said so.
Yeah, because we're honest brokers.
Yes. Two, I think, isn't that the game plan? Is like at some point we will sing it ourselves. Isn't that the idea we had?
I don't know.
Yes, we wanted to record it.
Yeah. So one day it will get done.
I don't think I read this one either. Evening, fellas. This is Jesse Clark. We all remember the worst, most painful injuries we've had from working or playing, but what's your dumbest self-inflicted injury? Something that made you stop and question your own intelligence before washing the blood off. Mine is probably when I picked up a dead chainsaw by the blade, not wearing gloves with no scabbard, and handed it to my brother, who grabbed the handle and cut open 3 fingers on one of my hands.
You should question your own
It wasn't
intelligence.
even a serious injury, so I just had to wash the hand and get back to work. He picked it up. Oh, and his brother grabbed.
He just handed it to his brother like
he
it
picked
was.
up the blade.
This was Jesse Clark.
Yeah,
He was just treating a chainsaw like it was a pair of scissors.
Yeah,
He
like
was
it was
just
a
like
broom.
here.
yeah, just like that.
That's like the most. That's come on.
Here's a
Come on.
hedge trimmer.
That's like the main antagonist of any horror movie ever is a chainsaw, and it's just like here.
You know one of one of the most dangerous tools is a hedge trimmer.
Hedgehog.
A hedgehog.
Sonic, he's out there just
Yeah,
whooping people.
So the one
Sonic's just like
those things are nasty when you get a hold of them and try to cut your bushes.
He's trying to run around. He's like, I gotta get the rings. Gotta get the rings.
No, just regular hedgehogs. Just your average hedgehog out
Why'd you say it like he was a junkie?
Because he is.
Gotta get the rings.
there.
Why do you think he runs so fast?
The hedge trimmer that we had growing up, it
Uh-huh.
said hedgehog. It was a hedgehog brand.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I always say hedgehog first, because it was whatever. But more fingers get cut off every year with those than anything else, because
They make it look so enticing.
homeowners just take them and just and then something gets stuck on the literally a branch will get stuck, and they just reach up and grab it, and their finger just gone. And it's just those blades just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Seems harmless,
You
but
gotta be
just
so dumb.
gone.
You have to be dumb to
Yeah.
do something like that.
That's the reason.
I think it's just people don't use them every day, and they just pull it out for the
But those kinds of people are
spring,
the
and they
same
just
reason.
they have it in their hand, and they reach up and just grab. Because I've had it happen 100 times where a branch would overhang or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not cut off yet or whatever, and you just
Yeah, but there's also instructions on the lawnmower deck that says to not shove your foot in there. So I feel like it's the same group of people.
no.
Dude,
How many times have you ever cut the extension cord on the hedge trimmer?
Mhm.
It happens all the time.
I've never used a hedge trimmer
because
before.
the thing
I
is
have.
just going, and it's easy to cut stuff.
I've never never cut
Kayla, are you
anything with a
laughing?
hedge trimmer. She's laughing at
laughing
my
at you.
lack of hedge trimming. Yeah, dude. Apparently, I just need to go out and live life. But
Nikki keeps him away from everything.
yeah, because I'm a danger to myself and others around me.
Goodness.
There's a guy
Yeah.
that I used to work with.
Jesus.
You were talking about. I don't know if I've told this story on the podcast or not, but
Electric hedge trimmers are the fourth most
Okay, your turn.
dangerous tool, causing nearly 7,000 injuries per year.
7,000 a year.
That's more than guns.
That's a lot.
Out here trying to regulate guns, we need to be regulating hedge trimmers.
No doubt. But there's a guy
Listen to me,
that I
I'm
used to work
talking- I'm
with,
I said, okay, it's your turn now.
and he was using a push mower at work
Yeah.
and ran over his own foot
I just want to
and chopped his. I don't know if I told the story on the
That is
podcast,
just like
but he chopped his foot. I mean, like,
With what?
huh?
push mower.
With a push mower. He was push mowing.
and then accidentally shoved his leg
got
under
his
there.
got his foot on. Listen, I don't understand how if you are pushing something away from
That
you,
doesn't make any sense.
your foot gets under there.
a
I
lo-
don't
It's a
understand.
lot of suction. Just sucked his foot right in.
Like I don't. Oh, maybe that is
Yeah,
what
maybe-
he
maybe
did.
that's what it was.
Because he was out
maybe he
by
tripped, yeah.
he was
You
out
need
by
to
like
be on
the
this
ditch.
podcast.
You can take You can take Harrison's spot.
But he chopped, and then maybe Seth will start listening again. So he chopped his foot right straight up, and I was in the back of the building, and
This was where you were working?
yes, this was at work,
Dude.
and somebody
This is
pulled.
a story you heard of.
No. So somebody pulled around to the back of the building. It was when I was working for the school district. They pulled around to the back of the building and was like, "Yo, you need to get up front. So and so just
Chopped and lopped.
yeah, just chopped his foot off." And I was
Chopped and
like,
lopped.
chopped his foot off, and they were like, "Yeah," and I was like,
Lop and chop.
so I was like, all right. So I was like,
Like it's an
We
inconvenience.
need you to go find his toes.
bro,
We need you to put it on a bed of ice and
So,
bring it to the doctor.
here's the thing. I walk around to the front of the building. He's walking towards the building, and I'm like, surely he didn't chop his foot off if he's walking towards the building. So he meets me like in the parking lot, and I looked down, and I was just like, hey, bro. Bro, I'm not.
Did you listen to me?
Bro,
I
listen.
would. There's no way I could have not made a face.
Was he just
I made a
walking?
face.
Yeah, but-
Was he just walking on bone? Just
Bro, when his
sound
foot,
sound like a high heel.
so his dude is a flip flop. So the
Well,
top of his
You don't do that. You don't ever do
the
that.
the top of his no, that's what his foot
I
looked
can't
like.
handle this.
Oh, I thought.
Bro, the top of his shoe, I promise you, it was cut all the way up here. And when you looked, bro, I promise you, I looked down and I was just looking at the inside of this man's foot.
I can't handle that.
And I went.
He got rid of his foot and
So-
got it.
This is a nuts story.
So he was like,
That's wild. I thought
call,
he meant like
You've been to
chop the
war and
whole
not
foot
saw
off.
that.
So he was
No,
like,
it's like a
call
flipper.
He was like, call 911, call 911. And then, and I was like, okay, I will. How about you sit down?
Yeah, but no, he's in shock.
Yeah, 100% he's in shock. But I mean, he's not freaking out. Like he's not like.
That's what
obviously
happens.
the
That's what
adrenaline is sky high. So I call the ambulance. The ambulance comes to the school, and we pulled a chair from outside of the school. He's sitting in the middle of the
Did
parking
anyone
lot.
do a tourniquet?
So the ambulance. We're in Smyrna, so the ambulance is.
So, honey, if you ever chop a limb off, you need to tie it off.
Yep, high and tight. Hey,
So
tourniquet.
tight, babe.
so
That's CLS.
Yeah,
You're sitting out in the boiling sun.
so
bet.
so we sat. So he sat down, and he was like, "Should I take my shoe off?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "No." So the ambulance. Excuse me. The ambulance
Was he
pulls
not in pain? I mean,
Well,
obviously adrenaline. I get,
yeah, but I'm telling you, when he was acting like it was just another Thursday, like, and I was like, color me impressed. You're the manliest man I've
So
ever
it
seen.
was like.
Yeah, but it was up here by his like big toe.
So he had his big toe.
Well,
That's good for
I don't-
balance purposes.
He did lose a toe. I think he lost a toe.
but he
But
kept
it was
the
like
foot.
but yeah, well, it chopped like his foot basically, like
In
it kind of
half.
split it in half. So when the ambulance got there, they were like,
Put some
where
duct
are you
tape on
guys
it."
at? And I was like, pull up to the school. You can't miss us. We're the only people
Follow
here.
the blood trail.
Yeah. So
This is getting.
so he was like, he left the lawnmower. He
I
left the
don't have
lawnmower.
anything to top this,
Bro, he left the lawnmower up by the ditch. So I was like, so once the ambulance got there, the paramedics are looking at him and stuff, and they're like, all right, we're going to get you, like, first we're going to tie everything up, stop the bleeding, we're going to get you in the truck, we're going to take you to the hospital. I was like, all right, now that you guys you're here, you got it under control, I'm going to go get the lawnmower. So I walk up to the road, and I'm like, I go up and I grab the lawnmower, and I'm like looking at the lawnmower, I'm like, dang, man, that's crazy.
And blood all over it.
I went like this, I went,
You looked underneath.
I should probably look underneath this lawnmower. Thankfully, there was nothing left behind. Okay, everything
it
was caught in. I'll tell you what it looked like. It looked like his shoe was like a boat, and it just caught everything. So like he kept everything with him, and. Yeah, and then straight up split his foot right in half. It was one of the gnarliest things I've ever
That's
seen.
wild.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, David, I don't have anything to top that. I was just going to ask a very simple question to everybody. So
Yeah, dude,
Look.
it was insane. It was so insane that like obviously like since I was like the acting chief at the time, like I'm not allowed to talk about it because of HIPAA law and all that other stuff. Like I'm not allowed to say, but like it was so gnarly that people who weren't even at the building like 2 weeks later were like, so I heard so and so chopped his foot off.
yeah, I mean that's
And I was
that
like-
would be the happening thing.
And I was like, I'm not really allowed to talk about it, but I will tell you this. He's not going to be here for a while. he is on long-term disability.
Yeah, he's got some foot issues he's working out.
Long-term disability.
He
Since hired an independent grass cutter.
dude,
That's just
it was
insane.
dude, it was crazy. I know where that guy works today. Like I know where he works now. I've seen him like a couple times, and he's
You
like,
should say hey. Next time you see him, just say hey. Pull your shoe off.
Now listen. The first time I saw him back when
Pull
he
your
was like
shoe
after the surgeries,
Let me see.
Let me-
little,
let me
little before and
let me
after.
feel it.
Little before and after. Here.
after the surgeries and stuff. Like
After the surgeries.
I saw him like after the surgeries and stuff. Like when he started walking.
I
After
love
the
that
physical,
plural.
Yeah.
After the physical therapy and all that jazz.
More than one.
After the prosthetic.
Yeah, he was like, I was like, do I want to see his foot?
Yes.
And then I was like, nah, I don't think I do. Like I saw the inside of his foot.
I saw it
saw the-
really, really good before. So
More than
I saw the inner workings. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, I don't feel like
you're
what
like
makes the clock tick.
Yeah.
I've seen his foot. I'm just gonna. I think I know what's going on down there.
I've seen the framing.
It's put together. I've seen the framing.
I've seen. You know, I don't.
And I don't know if it went up to code.
What do you do
But,
for a living?
dude,
I'm a foot framer.
Bro, so you want to talk about somebody who injured themselves?
Do you have more?
I mean, I was
Let's-
I was framing at the church. I was framing a shed with a couple guys, and we were up on the shed, and this, I don't think, what was his name?
You're talking
Tim
about the one
Smith.
we put all the stuff in?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
when we built that, we were framing it. We were working up there, and this one guy, Tim Smith, he great guy. He doesn't come to our church anymore. He goes, he moved out of state. But me and him were working up there. I was like 18 or 19.
Tim Smith sounds like a fake name.
And we're working up there, and he's framing. And Dad said he was taking the gun, the framing nailer, and he was shooting, but he was slapping, pop, pop, pop,
Yeah.
pop. And Dad said, hey, "You're gonna be careful, Tim. You're gonna shoot yourself." And no later did he say that. He's going plop, plop, plop. Dad said that, and he goes plop, plop. Shoots himself in the thumb, right through the center, through the center of his. Nope, I am sorry. It was his middle finger.
This was a nail gun.
Nail gun, 3-inch nail, framing nail, right through the center of his nail of his thumb, and he went blankety blank. And me and Dad and all the church guys are just sitting there. I was right with him. I'm
And you're like,
watching
dude,
it.
I get
It
it.
was like, "Pata, pata, pata, blankety blank."
Did your dad let that one slide?
Dad said, "Hey fellas," afterwards, he's like, "When you put a 3-inch nail through your finger," he's like, "that's when you can just let it slip." That's and then he's like, "No one's gonna bring it up later." Like, but I had to take him to the hospital. It went right through. I mean, right through the center of his finger, and he was a shorter guy. He was kind of stubby, thick fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't hit the bone. And the doctor was talking.
How?
The doctor, we did the X-ray and everything, and like looking at it and everything. It's like, but it did not hit the bone.
My dad shot himself.
It
for
went in
That's-
and just like went, like, and just I don't know.
That's a
Yeah, when
Miracle.
my dad used to
Just
frame
meat.
houses, he had a board up on like a horse set, and when he was like nailing it, and I guess the horse like buckled or something like that, and like it moved
Yeah.
him, and when it
Yeah.
moved him, he shot the nail right here, and it went right in here and like up his hand, and he was like, oh man,
Yep.
and then he like taped it up, and then went back to work.
I have put about 1.5 to 2 inches of nail in my hand before.
Ugh.
I was working actually. It was a stainless steel trim nail, and I was doing something, and Logan was there.
Mhm.
We were talking, and I was putting trim kits together for outside columns,
Uh-huh.
and I shot, and it went somewhere. I think it was my thumb, but it went in, and it went about that far in. But when it happens, and I've shot myself with a trim nail a ton, because what happens, it'll ricochet and it'll go in, but usually not, but never that deep. But it went in, and I was like, and I went and just pulled it right. But that's what you
yeah,
have,
for sure.
If you don't just pull it out, you'll be a mess.
Yeah.
But Logan was sitting there, he was like, oh, and it like came out, it was all bloody and long. I mean, it was like a 2-inch nail, and he was like, oh, I'm like, I know that looked tough, but I promise you, it was nothing to do with me being tough. It was just like, get out. It was
panic. It was just panic.
Just knee-jerk reaction.
But I was like, it was not like I wasn't trying to prove anything. It's just what anyone like. It was the deepest I've ever. Yeah.
Oh man,
I don't really have anything that was like self-inflicted. Dad, we were working on a slider, just like that. We were pulling it out of the track, just like that slider right there. Mm-hmm. And you have to. You can tell Dustin's about to sleep because he keeps going like this.
Well,
he keeps going.
No, I'm trying to think. I don't know what.
This was on VBS 2 years ago. We were pulling out a slider, and you have to pry it up.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like it's in these grooves, whatever, so it doesn't come out. But you have to like put a pry bar in there, and you have to loosen the wheels so it like there's screws on each side. You have to loosen the wheels, and it pops up, but you have to then pry it so it pops out. Well,
what is this for?
A slider door.
Oh, okay.
Just like that glass, like it sets in there. But what happens is that you have to take when you put a slider in, you have to. There's 2 screws at the bottom and top, and there's like little rollers, and they go down and go up. So when you go to take one out, you have to unscrew it, and the wheels, the rollers rise up into the slider, and then you lift it up. But there's still like an 1/8 inch lip. You have to pry that thing out of the actual sleeve. So me and Dad were doing that, and he had the pry bar on the one corner, and he had his thumb on the ground, and then I was on the other corner. And I got the pry bar in, and we said go. We yanked, and the slider came out, and the corner of it went right into Dad's thumb and cut off from here all the way up to there. Just cut it right off. And he had a glove on, and it cut it off. And he pulled his hand out, and he's like, "This isn't good." And he looked at it. It was just gone right there.
Wow.
And so I went and got his glove, and the meat was in the.
Don't say the meat.
Don't
say
the finger.
The meat.
A little bit of a ribeye in there.
So it was like that much.
That's
was gone. We took him to the hospital. He went in, but there's nothing they could do. It's like
right. They could try to reattach it, and if it takes
enough. It was just enough to be like.
How long ago was that?
It wasn't this last VBS. It was the last one.
Yeah.
When next time I see your dad, I'm gonna be like,
yeah, you'll see. I mean, it definitely is gone. Like it's missing, but it's not. Again, it's like this, like that much.
There's a
it hit the bone.
There's a guy I was training at work for my current job.
I got that when I was a little kid.
And I was training him. He came from another company and wanted to work for us. So they're like, all right, well, since you're on, like, it was like his probation period. So it was like, hey, David, we want you to train this guy on the Del Dot stuff. Because he's never located Del Dot before. I was like, all right, cool. So he's riding.
Sour Patch Kids, by the way.
Yep, he's riding with me in Wilmington. Like he's riding with.
You said this.
Did I tell the story about the guy?
I don't remember. Keep going.
Yeah. He asked if he could work by himself on a job, and then I come check his work to make sure that he's learning it properly, so he could go out on his own. I was like, cool. Go to this job, locate it out. Call me when you're done. I'll come out, double check your work. And then if it's right, I'll let the higher ups know that you're picking it up. And he's like, cool. So he leaves. Like an hour goes by. He calls me, but I wasn't in my work truck. I was at another job. And so I get to my phone. I see that he leaves me a voicemail. So I answer the phone, and he's like, hey Dave, this is so and so. I chopped my finger off.
Yeah, you said this.
And I was like, what?
You have the most insane
I know.
stories
He's like,
ever.
So I try calling him back. He doesn't answer the phone, obviously, because he's in the ambulance, right?
So I was like,
yeah. So I was like, I can't tell if he's joking or what, but he didn't answer the phone. So I was like, so I start driving to where I sent him.
Looking for blood.
He calls me while I'm on my way there. He's like, hey, just got to the hospital. Or no, he said, "Hey, I'm in the back of the ambulance now. Yeah, I chopped my finger off, man." And I was like,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was like,
What?
Yeah, that
What?
happened. That happened.
Why?
I was like, how? What? How? And that's what he said. He said he was lifting up the lid, and these lids are like they're solid like steel lids. They're like 70 pounds.
Yeah.
And he was picking it up, and it slipped out of his hand. And when it slipped out of his hand, it just like chopped his finger. And he was wearing gloves.
Yeah.
So everything, the meat was in the glove, and they tried to like sew it back on to see if it would take. And it was like this much of his finger, bro. So like his middle finger.
Yeah.
It was like this much of his finger. They tried to sew it back on to see if it would like take and reattach, and it
Needless to
didn't.
say, he won't be clipping those
I
fingernails.
just
Oh, here's the other thing,
I just
right?
don't
Here's-
understand. Like,
Does it
you're-
grow back? Huh?
It does not. We're not lizards.
No, the fingernail, not the finger.
He should know we're not lizards.
he's been waiting to say that his whole life. He's like, I've actually been waiting for someone to ask if fingers grow back, so I can immediately say
I mean,
we're,
like,
not,
we're not
lizards.
lizards.
So it gets worse for him from there, because after that, like then he's out, obviously for like a while. They found out that he was, even though he was out on disability, he was using his work card to go to his like doctor's appointments and stuff like that. So he got in trouble for that. They took the work card from him. Then
No.
they find out. Then they find out that he lied in his interview about his background check. So his like background check came in clean for Delaware, but he had like a felony in New Jersey, and he was getting charged with something for in Maryland. So they were like, "Yo, we gotta let this guy go. Like, we have to fire him because he lied. Like, he's a straight criminal." So this man quit his job, joined us, worked for us for like 4 weeks, chops his finger off, is out of work for 2 months, and then gets fired. And I was like, "That's a rough go." That is.
Seems like seems a little fishy. Like they're playing out
Gets
evidence.
charged in Maryland and arrested or
Yeah,
something.
I
for
mean,
sure.
I have not seen or heard anything about him since then. But like, dude, I was like,
What was his name?
I'm not gonna say that out loud. Not on the podcast. I'll tell you when we're done recording.
Old Nine Finger Dave.
Yeah, bro. That
Dave.
is.
Steve. Old
That
Nine
is.
Finger.
Whew, man.
Dude. I
So
don't-
now, obviously, my job, like every time I train another guy, like the first day we come back from training, my bosses are like, "Guys, your hands? All right, 10
Yeah.
digits.
Yeah.
Get on and get out of here." I'm like, y'all really ever gonna let me live that
It's
one down?
my turn to tell a
Go
work
ahead.
story. I don't.
Calm down, it's fine. Take it step by step. We're sitting on the couch, laughing at the missteps. Cam, David, and Dustin guiding our ride. Embrace the absurd, let the good vibes collide. So tune in and relax.